Now the Radio and Television Correspondents Association dinner. The annual event took place last night at the Washington Hilton Hotel here in the nation's capital. Speakers include President Clinton, CBS News anchor Dan Rather, and comedian Norm MacDonald. Terry.
Continuing with this Saturday Night Live theme, our next speaker is currently in his fourth season on that show. He doesn't do an impression of the president, but he does a great impression of Bob Dole, Andy Rooney, and Charles Kuralt. Recently, he ranked number 2 on Rolling Stone's list of the 101 best things about watching television. And once a week, he gets a taste of our jobs when he anchors that program's Weekend Update. Please join me in welcoming Norm MacDonald.
All right. I won't be as funny as that last bit. Just so you know. Well, good evening, Mr. President, Mrs. First Lady, and the distinguished members of the Radio and Television Correspondents' Dinner. When I accepted the honor of performing here tonight, one thought crossed my mind, and that was, please, God, don't let me bomb in front of the President. But I'm not worried. What the hell do I care? I worked on all my jokes. I got a lot of help from my joke writer, Don Imus. He was helped me a lot. Are you familiar? You know this guy? He's a funny guy. He wrote some jokes. Anyways, the dinner was great. You enjoyed the dinner? We had some salmon. Yeah, it was delicious. It was great, and I thought it was refreshing to see Democrats serve something other than subpoenas for a change. I thought that was nice. I'll be doing some jokes later. I just thought I'd... But it is rather daunting to me. I'm just a guy, What the hell am I? And here I am, I look out, I see President Bill Clinton, I see Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, broadcast legend Larry King, pornographer Larry Flint, Dick Morris. The list is starting to drop off a little, folks, but still, you get the idea. It's daunting. And, of course, it was very inspiring to see President Clinton up here on crutches making a speech. I thought that was just amazing, it's been difficult for the president. He can't jog now, and he needs help getting around, and he still occasionally suffers great pain, On the upside, you got your medical marijuana, so that's, You must inhale, sir. It's the only way you're going to get better. But it's odd. I think this is the first time that I can remember that we've had a president that has hobbled, and it's tough on everybody. The Secret Service, it's not easy on the Secret Service. They have had to learn, how to do this, and they've been specially trained on how to lift and carry President Clinton by top experts who've been doing this for a long time. Boris Yeltsin's Secret Service agents. They've stepped in to help, Anyways, excuse me, I'm sorry, folks. Larry Flint and Dick Morris are giving some sort of hand signals to each other over there. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but it's kind of hard to concentrate. Larry Flint is here tonight. But also, present this evening, Madeleine Albright, the Secretary of State. Ms. Albright's been very busy, She just returned from Russia, where she... applied for her? Yeah, Madeleine Albright. She's been very busy. She just went to Russia, where she met with Boris Yeltsin, and they had some talk on NATO expansion. I guess they kind of had a tense meeting, When Ms. Albright came back out, she said, for this I traveled 5,000 miles to meet with some drunken Meshuggah? On my worst enemy, I wouldn't wish this. This is... She's changed, you know? That's what I find. She's... But of course, looking around the room, I also see many distinguished members of the Fourth Estate. I see Brian Gumbel is here, and he just signed a multi-year contract, of course, with CBS. And, you know, he took some time off to be with his family after the Today Show. But Bryant, in his heart, you know, is a newsman. And after a few weeks, he realized, you know, that he missed the excitement and thrill that you can only get by making millions and millions of dollars. So... And Dan Rather, of course, is here. He is a broadcast legend. I love Dan Rather. You know, I talked to him backstage, and it was a real thrill for me. You know, and he was so excited to be here. You know, I was backstage with him. I've never seen him so excited. At one moment, I remember he broke into a huge frozen smile, and it was. There it is again. There it is. Take a look. That's the huge frozen smile I'm talking about. We got a lot of power here, a lot of juice. Mr. Rule Arledge is here, of course, the chairman of ABC News, you know, and a lot of crazy stories coming out of that division, you know. You know, stories about this person sleeping with that person and all that, you know. Scandal after scandal. And if you heard the latest, I heard this just the other day. There's a rumor that last week, a certain, I don't want to say who it is, a certain gentleman in ABC News, he went to a party and he got really drunk and he ended up having sex with his own wife. I don't know how these rumors get started, but you know, it's probably just a vicious rumor, really, you know. But as Mr. Arledge knows, of course, TV has become a very tough game. You got to stay competitive, you know. As we all know, ABC's Good Morning America is in a little turmoil, you know, a little trouble, a little rating trouble, and they're considering a lot of ways now, you know, to boost the ratings, and I don't know, I think they're getting a little desperate. I heard that next week Charles Gibson will announce he's a lesbian. I mean, is that going to help anything? Nobody wants to hear that. Martha Stewart is here, and she wanted me to tell you, don't let the busboys clear your table off tonight, because a little later Martha will come up here, and she's going to show us how to take those old discarded fish bones and make a beautiful birdhouse. So, that's nice. I'm very nervous. I don't know why. Before I sip this coffee, actually, sir, how much is it? How much would a cup of coffee cost in a place like this?
Nothing for you.
Nothing, it's free? Okay, great. I didn't want to see $90,000 on my bill later. I'm sorry. And of course, there are some important Washington figures who couldn't be here tonight. Vice President Al Gore is not here. Unfortunately, he broke down and they had to leave him in the shop overnight. But they say he'll be all right later. Something wrong with the voice box or something. I don't know what it was. House Speaker Newt Gingrich is not here. A little while back, of course, everybody knows that Newt pushed through a lot of budget cuts in the arts, particularly in PBS, you know, and the effects are being felt now. I can see it, even as a layman, you know, just watching. You know, the other day I watched that show, the Frugal Gourmet. It changed its name to the Cheap Bastard. I mean, it's crazy. And Senator Ted Kennedy couldn't be here. You know, there's a lot of jokes about Ted Kennedy, but I recently watched an interview. It was very touching. You know, Ted was talking about, or Mr. Kennedy. What the hell am I calling him Ted for? Senator Kennedy was talking about how he proposed to his lovely wife Vicki Reggie, and it was very touching. You know, it was a different side of Ted Kennedy that you don't see. He was very old-fashioned or romantic. You know, when he made the proposal, it was very nice. He got up on one knee and he, it was nice, you know? You hear all the stories, but then you hear something like that, and, you know, it makes you... I'm starting to relax now, you know? I think I'm relaxing a little. And that's not just the booze talking. I think I really am relaxing. It's the Xanax, the Prozac, and the booze talking. But, no, I'm a little nervous, you know? I mean, who the hell am I? But,